The State Minister for Primary Education announced the directive on Tuesday. She said the district heads, education officers and school administrators would be provided with guidelines before the schools break off on the 25th of November. In the guidelines, district heads and education officers have been advised to capture all learner contacts and next of kin with reliable telephone numbers and addresses to enable easy tracking of the learners in case the surveillance teams need to get to them. Schools must have copies of the Ebola virus disease standard operating procedures for education institutions and must enforce the measures. Screening will be carried out daily. District inspectors of schools will make routine visits. Head teachers are required to report any symptomatic learners or school staff to the Ebola virus disease alert desk before the end of the term, and the symptomatic learners will be reported to the response team. A breach of guidelines will be reported to the district task force. For school heads, they must ensure that the cooperation with the Ebola district task force or response team when school visits are made or needed. All schools capture the learner or staff's biodata. Schools with boarding sections will make special arrangements to cater for learners who are not able to go home immediately. Parents have also been asked to ensure that they observe the established standard operating procedures when picking their children at the end of the term. The school should provide hand-washing facilities and do temperature screening. The guidelines for learners in Mubende and Kassanda, the Ebola outbreak hotspots, are different.
The Ministry of Health will issue guidelines on a safe return of learners to their home in the districts of Mubende and Kassanda district before the close of term 3.
For day schools, learners whose homes are either in Mubende or Kassanda and who have no symptoms but are studying in these districts, they shall be allowed to leave at the end of the term. Any learner or staff found to have the Ebola virus disease-related symptoms shall be isolated and treated. For boarding schools, students with no Ebola symptoms will return home. Any learner with symptoms shall be isolated. Boarding students with no symptoms but studying in either of the two districts who require to travel to Mubende from Kassanda or vice versa will be issued with permits. And learners whose home address is in Mubende or Kassanda but studying in schools outside the districts of Mubende and Kassanda shall not be allowed to go back to the two districts until the lockdown measures on transport are lifted or clearance given. Schools have been advised to inform the parents in the end-of-term newsletters that they should monitor their children. Rita Kanyamujuni, NTV Tonight.